Hey, Renee, Chris, and Ryan going live. Best podcast, Beauty and the Beast. Sit back and catch a vibe. Oh yeah, we talking zombies and apocalypses and all those things you like. Going beast mode, and if you didn't know, it's Peter Z up on the mic. Whoa. Hey, TWD family, grab the snacks about the pantry and subscribe and like if you can, please. Or those walkers eat you like some candy. Hey, okay. You at the right place at the right time. No one does it better, that's the bottom line. Beauty and the Beast, this is prime time. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah, the pay is not very good. Hey.
I just did all that for nothing.
Yeah.
Do this. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, just keep going. We'll fix it. So yeah, like I was saying, that you guys didn't hear. So like I was saying, we have Anthony and Nicole here from That's My Viewing Party. They're here to just kind of throw out the information to everybody about the last episode of The Walking Dead. That they're going to be having this great event for people. It's sold out, and we are proud that they chose us to be a big part of their event. So with that being said, Nicole, Anthony, the floor is yours.
Nicole, why don't you go first?
Why don't I go first? Oh my goodness. Well, thanks for having us on. We very much appreciate it. And we couldn't have asked for a better MC of you guys and Renee to kind of host and assist us in hosting this because this is really for fans by a couple of fans like us. So we definitely wanted it to be an amazing event. We really hope that it will be. I know people have expectations. Our expectations are probably a lot higher than everyone else's, but Chris, you said sold out. Kind of, we use that term loosely since it's a free event, but all the tickets are claimed, and we could not do it without our sponsors and without everyone, that TWD family that has donated. The amount of donations that we've gotten has been incredible. So we can put that into our auctions to support Bert's Big Adventure, which is our charity partnership, because we didn't want to, we're not making any money on this. It's not about that. We wanted to give back to the community also. And Anthony said, you know what? I know exactly who we should donate to, and that's Bert's Big Adventure. So we're super happy to have them as a charity partnership.
If you want,
as well.
Please let everybody know what the charity Bert's Big Adventure is too.
So Bert's Big Adventure.
They raise money to send chronically ill children or terminally ill children and their families to on an all-expense 5-day trip to Disney to make those memories and to kind of be together and put those stresses of their everyday lives kind of set it to the side. And just really make those memories and forget about all the other things going on and just enjoy each other. and just have an amazing time. So to be able to support that in any way we can has just been incredible.
Yeah, I mean that's what you guys are doing, let alone for the fans of the show, and then plus what you have involved with Bird's Big Adventure is just it's the cherry on top for sure. And the fact that the fan base has been so giving, and I mean, talk about the sponsors you guys landed, because these aren't just like your local mom and pop sponsors. I mean, go ahead and throw them out there and let everybody know what they're going to be expecting.
And I'll have Anthony introduce our sponsors, since he was pretty much the sole person doing all of that and making those arrangements.
Thank you, Nicole. We were extremely fortunate that we were able to get our first sponsor was Coca-Cola. So they're providing all the beverages for the event. And then we got Kroger, and then Francis Coppola Wine is donating. I think last time we checked, I think, what was it, like 6 cases of wine, Nicole? Maybe more?
Maybe more.
Yeah. And then we have Kleenex tissues.
Gonna need those, I'm sure.
Which is genius.
That's a good call.
We're gonna need those.
It's a little on the nose.
Yeah.
Get out.
Get
Get out. You should have stayed being late for that joke.
Well,
But one of the sponsors that I am so stoked about having, because if it wasn't for Alexandria Stone, who does articles and writes articles and screenplays, she had did something for Ross, who is the spokesperson for Sexton's Whiskey. So they will be there at our viewing party, pouring their single malt Irish whiskey at our party.
Yay!
For free.
And that's the thing that, like, for the people who unfortunately, we have most of our people who are in our chat, they're all overseas people right now. They're dedicated here every week. Zay's in Jersey, and everybody else besides Zay and Tiffy, they're all overseas people. And
Jersey.
For the people who can't go to that event, to know that, like, this was all provided for free. Like, I mean, whose idea was it to do this event? Like, who said this is what I want to do? And then just give us like a quick rundown of like how things kind of steamrolled for you guys from there.
Honestly, I had done them before, but not to the scale. So basically, I think the first one I ever had was at the Beatzts in Conyers. In Conyers. And just had it, invited some people, bought the food for them. It surpassed what I thought it was. So, after a couple of the episodes, I did some season finales and season premiere parties. But I was talking to Nicole. I said, wouldn't it be cool just to have a small viewing party for the last episode? She goes, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. So when I say this with wholeheartedly. I have some amazing friends that I work with, and I work with a gentleman by Ken Van Ness, who is the athletic director at Peachtree Academy, where I work. He goes, Anthony, you can have the school. You can have the gymnasium that day. I went, well, cool. And then he said that you can have the full run of the school that day. And then one of the parents who works there or has a kid go there is the Southeastern rep for Coca-Cola. He goes, Anthony, I'll give you all the Coke that you need. Damn. And then one of the parents who kid goes there, works for Kroger, he goes, I'll give you all the goodies that you need and all the snacks for free. And then a buddy of mine who kids also goes there he works for Empire Distributors. He hooked me up with Katie from Coppola Wine, and she goes, I'll give you the wine that you need. So all these sponsors, all they're asking for is just to have their name mentioned with either on a banner, which we have a big giant, I think it's 8 by 12, 8 foot by 12 foot banner, so that when you walk in, you're going to be on a red carpet. And
We
you
can all
get
get our pictures taken there, like we're all
the
fancy.
red carpet walkway.
Renee, we got to get our poses. Yeah.
But here's what's so scary is when Nicole and I started making plans for this, we started advertising way before season 11 even started. Because we wanted it. I'm not saying that we were the first people to say that we're going to have a viewing party, but we were promoting it and pushing it. And honestly, I was so scared when we launched the tickets. The day that our tickets went on sale, I actually called Renee and went, "Hey, we just went live. I mean, then you get the first person to sign up." And Renee was the first person to sign up. And I was so scared that we wouldn't get anybody. And then I think by the end of that day, Nicole goes, "We're at 180 people right now." I went, "Okay, I'm not going to worry anymore."
The worry and stress went right out the window.
Yeah, here I am going, you know what? It's going to be really horrible if we make all these arrangements and have these people and then 5 people show up.
Mitchell's in the chat on
we're to the point
YouTube, and he said that he's going to be at the event and he's very excited. He can't wait. So that's cool.
We're so excited. We've got so many things. I know I've made a lot of announcements, but there's so much that we haven't said. And I'm saying this, and I'm not saying this because she's on here. But Nicole, everything that you see as far as cups, as far as banners, any kind of advertising, any kind of print work, Nicole designed all that stuff. I mean, people get when you come, you get so many goodies. You get like a souvenir plaque.
Oh, she doesn't want you to say it.
You get the plaque.
Oh,
okay,
man.
Cracking that whip.
I know.
Wow, you got to rain.
You're giving away the secrets, man.
Yeah.
He's just so excited. I mean, I can't blame him.
Thank you, Meg.
I got you.
But it's super. We're just super excited about having it, and I'm just waiting to meet all these people that either had conversations with on Instagram or Twitter, and the conversations that Nicole tells us about on Facebook. You know, I am so super excited about all these people coming. I mean, and it just started off as being a viewing party, and then Chris from Abraham's Army goes, "Hey man, you need to have vendors." So I went, "Do you think people would come?" And within maybe a couple hours, he's got, "Okay, this person wants a table. This person wants a table."
Yeah.
How many vendors do you have?
Right now, Nicole, how many would you say we have?
I don't even know. I don't have my paperwork in front of me.
I who knew approximately. I knew there were several.
I would say at least 10. And I'm psyched about everybody. We have Andrea, who makes these amazing tumblers.
Yeah, those are really cool.
And then we have this one lady who takes bottles and she makes the Walking Dead bottles. And then I'm psyched about the tattoo artist that we have.
I did see the post of that. Yeah, I saw the post of the tattoo artist. Ooh. Yeah, there you go, Meg.
I might have to get some new ink. I literally just got a new tattoo last week, so now I'm like, ooh, what am I getting now?
You have to get another one. Come on.
And these are just nice little flash ones, so they'll just be like a little thing to say, hey, I got this at a viewing party. How cool will that be?
and what?
That's a permanent memory right there. You know?
Yeah.
You don't forget that because you just look down and you see it. So.
And what people don't understand is the Bbirt's Big Adventure text to give. If you donated either through our auctions or just donated, that money went towards this thing that we're doing. If we raised $1,500, I would get a tattoo.
And he has none.
And I have none, and I haven't even seen this tattoo yet. The tattoo is being drawn by a Bbirt's Big Adventure kid, and whatever that tattoo is, that's picked by Bert's Big Adventure,
Oh,
I'll have
very
to get.
nice.
That's awesome.
You
Oh
know,
my gosh.
And no, Chris, it's not going to be Pickle Rick,
Yeah,
not
well,
Pickle Rick. I heard that.
Now,
I was gonna say I've heard this before, and we literally talked about it on one of our shows.
We did.
And I said that I was gonna rig the contest so that they only get flooded with Pickle Rick tattoos.
Not going to be a Pickle Rick.
So did you guys make that goal then already?
Oh yeah. And
Okay.
here's the thing about it is,
So
even if we were not to make it,
Yeah.
I would have gone. I'm going.
Yeah.
So I know that I got to speak to you briefly, probably about a week ago or now, but and I did mention to you that we have our OG like banners from when it was BMNY, and all the events that we had done with those banners. At every event, we collected as many signatures as possible from the actors. So we have 2 of them, and what we wanted to do, or if you guys wanted it, I didn't know if you had planned live auctions or anything like that or whatever, but since we're going to be at the camp in about 3 weeks, a little under 3 weeks, right? We're going to collect more signatures on those banners, and we're going to give one to Oscar and Casey to raffle off at the camp, and then we want to give you guys the other one to raffle off at your event at the viewing party.
That is so cool.
And whatever money
That
you
is
can
so
get,
cool.
it goes towards
That'd be-
Bert's Big Adventure. It's going to have actor signatures on it from season 5 and up.
Yeah,
5 and up, 6 and up. So it'll have old schoolers on there and all the way up to, the last season.
Yep.
So and then whatever you guys can hopefully get for it, it just goes towards a charity.
That is so cool.
And they're
We
big. They're
appreciate
6
that.
foot long, two and a
Yeah.
half wide, 6 foot long banners. The artwork on them was actually done by a savior,
Yeah.
Blaine Recon. So Blaine did the artwork for us on it. So I mean, even they were made by him, which is even a cool aspect to add to it as well. So
Awesome.
That is so, and like I said, I mean, y'all's generosity, we appreciate it so much. I did not realize until people were either hitting Nicole up or me or myself up, asking how can we donate, and so many people were sending stuff and sending packages, and these are Walking Dead items that they had. And these are really, and I just couldn't imagine it, me being a collector and getting rid of stuff that it must have had a sentimental value to them.
yeah, well,
But the stuff.
I know that you
is
guys
just-
received from Rachel, right? Rachel from Squawking Dead.
Oh my
I
God.
think it's at
Man,
Cosmo Mom is her handle,
yeah.
right? Is it Cosmo Mom?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
Cosmo Mom 09.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah,
I know
09,
Rachel
yeah.
donated a ton of things for you guys, which is amazing. I saw the boxes she shipped out to you guys. Yeah.
Boxes.
Yeah.
It was huge.
So that's really
And we've had people reach out when we're posting, hey,
Yeah.
this is what we have. People reach out being like, hey, I'll buy that from you right now. We're like, nope, we're keeping it for the party. And hey, if you want to
Yeah.
yeah.
join the auction,
absolutely.
great. Absolutely great. So
Are you still accepting donations?
Oh yeah. I mean, here's the thing about it is, we have these. I didn't know they existed. So we had 3 packages that came in, and 2 of those packages had the Monopoly game.
Yes,
Walking
I
Dead.
actually have that.
Okay, so we got 2 of those, and then we had 2 other board games that came in and Trivial Pursuit games. So Nicole and I were thinking we could put together like a family package where you have all these games to play. Stop it, Nicole.
stop saying all the secrets.
But yeah, I mean, we're always taking donations, and again, we're going to make Renee work because she's going to be doing our live auction. And then with our raffles, I think we decided whatever prizes are raffles, we'll have like a bowl where you put your tickets in front of that prize, and that's the ticket that we'll draw from. And what's really cool is if somebody donated anything, we're giving those persons, like, for example, Rachel donated. So her packages earned her 10 raffle tickets that you can use and put whatever she wants to. So if there's something there that she wants, it doesn't she have? She has 10 tries to win it, or she can spread her tickets out however she wants to. But it was just a little something to say thank you for contributing.
Cool. You know what? You know what I just remembered?
That's awesome.
I have a baseball cap that was given to us and signed by a ton of the saviors from CJ Rhodes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I know exactly where it is. It was actually us. The cap was actually worn on set as well. I think you can actually see him wearing it on set, like during a show.
Was it Oscars?
No. This is a black plain baseball cap. It's got real live filming sweat in it and everything, because it was probably 130 degrees when he was wearing this thing.
The filming sweat crust that formed on the inside.
But then it's got signatures all over it. I'm gonna find it, and if I think it's if I think someone wants it, I'll bring it, and we'll give it a shot.
Listen, somebody bidded on what this guy got Rosita's sex.
Well, look, we have people buying bathwater online, so I'm really not worried about a used baseball cap.
Baseball?
Baseball cap. Listen up, everybody. I'm gonna punch Ryan in the mouth.
Here's a bag of air. Here's a bag of air.
I actually have, somewhere here, I'm going to look for it. I have an autograph by Nick Gomez, and something in some supply drop stuff that I don't really, or I either have duplicates of, but I'm going to go through it, and I'll bring it down to the camp to give you guys if I can get a hold of it.
And then you just earned your 10 raffle tickets.
Not doing it for that, but.
So one thing that we're super excited about is that we're going to try our best to head to Chattanooga to get the bottle of Sexton whiskey signed by
that's awesome.
Ross.
That'd be awesome.
Gonna try. Hey,
try.
Nothing wrong with trying. I know you guys are definitely up to date with the show, and I know in the pre-show when we were figuring things out, Anthony, you had something that you wanted that you had seen and you wanted to reveal. You want to talk about that real quick? Well, and then we'll kick off the rest of the show. Yeah.
Who, me?
His theory? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what I said, Anthony.
Theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
your theory
you
that you shared with us.
Oh, about Lori?
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, I get so much grief about this, but if you just look at the facts and don't listen to anything else. One, Lori's still alive somewhere. We never saw her body. When they came back, it was just a puddle and a walker. So you're telling me all of her bones and all her hair and everything got eaten. My theory is she's out there somewhere, and this is my theory. We're going to get down to maybe the second to the last episode, and they're going to, all these Commonwealth troopers are going to have everybody in a corner, and they're about to shoot them. And all of a sudden, before this one Commonwealth trooper starts to shoot, this other one turns and starts shooting the rest of them. And then the Commonwealth trooper takes their helmet off, and it's Lori.
So, Anthony, it's hilarious because one of our very loyal followers, her name's Pi, and she says in capital letters, OMG, I have talked about this to people and they told me to shut up. Lori lives. So she is on Team Anthony.
Well, I mean, no body, no death.
You're right, Nick, you're right.
What's her name?
What? Well, it's P-A-I-V-I.
Yeah, we call her Pi.
Well, you tell Pi I said you wrong.
Oh yeah, Pi's in our chat. Pi's in Finland right now.
Yeah. Yeah, she's in Finland, and she's one of our loyal overseas fans.
Yeah, Anthony wants his own table at the viewing party because Lori's still alive. Changed my mind.
Oh my God, that was me with Madison in Fear the Walking Dead. So I get it.
Oh, and Linda just piped in too, and she agrees. So you got people, Anthony.
Just think about it. I mean, in the history of walkers, have we ever seen anybody totally devoured and nothing left.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you can imagine this, I mean, there's so many theories out there. Somebody goes, well, how do we not know there was somebody else in that side of the prison who was laying low, that dragged her away, who happened to be somebody who had medical experience? There's so many scenarios. But if you just take the facts, no body, there's one walker who's just sitting there who's bloated. You're telling me bones, skull, everything is gone. And we never
Walkers
saw
don't
her
eat
shot.
bones, right?
Huh?
What? What'd you say,
Walkers
Meg?
don't eat bones and skulls, right?
Yeah,
Well, that's what he's
Just
saying. There's
flesh.
nothing. It was just
Well, it's
all
a
gone.
Yeah.
There was a few of her hairs, but that
Yeah.
could have just been grabbed off. That doesn't,
Unless it was a
rip it out,
unless it was a
she had long
variant
hair.
zombie and they eat everything and we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Maybe I don't know.
And until Greg Nicotero goes, Anthony,
Yeah.
she's dead. Get over it. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna.
Well, it's more believable than Beth being alive because
Oh,
there's that
no.
camp too.
No.
So, there is though. There's a huge camp for that.
That's okay because Ryan and I were talking at the camp back in I think May in a bar, and we were talking scenarios, and he had a pretty good one about this whole thing and how things would end.
Oh, the Rick waking up from his dream. Yeah.
I mean, that has
Yep.
been my theory.
I
I've said
thought
it
that
a
was-
million times, and I'll say it a million times more, is that the perfect ending for me would be, Rick showing up, which I don't think is going to happen,
No.
and then him get bit by a zombie, and all of a sudden he goes black. You hear, and he sits up in bed. He's back in the hospital bed from the very first episode, gown and everything, dead flowers on the bedside, and he just starts sweating, and he's profusely sweating, and he's like kind of hyperventilating, and he's like, was this all a dream? And then you just hear a snarl come from the hallway. And then it just cuts.
Well, buddy, I'm sorry to break your heart, but it's not going to happen that way.
Well, I think that if they knew what they were doing, they would do it that way. I'm just saying.
Not with all these
Yeah, I
spin-offs,
know.
not gonna happen. If it was just ending like straight
Yeah,
out,
absolutely.
I could see that. But with the way the show turned out, there's no way they could do that.
They did an entire episode based off of Groundhog Day. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was actually a really
I'm
fun
just saying.
episode.
So technically,
I mean, they could do a musical too. I mean,
true.
Renee, that's gonna. Well, Renee,
Yeah,
we're
in
gonna
the
have that
chat.
back to you.
In the chat, they're saying if Lori, a big mess if Lori's coming back. The Rashon shippers are going to be upset. And then Pi said your theory would lead to
Yeah.
riots. And Anthony is so smart.
Mhm.
Anthony is a wise man. And Mitchell
Don't feed into
says, Mitchell says that but do you think Lori's out there somewhere? And he said he always knew Madison was out there, that she didn't die because
Yeah.
he didn't see the body. So
Now, are you guys staying
Well,
for the whole show? Are you hanging out? Or are you cutting out? What are you doing?
Did you guys-
I'm-
Yeah, do you want to talk the whole
episode
episode
with
with
us?
us, or do you guys got other commitments, or?
I was going to go eat something and everything. Nicole, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I gotta feed my kids.
Okay.
That's okay. That's okay. We just wanted you to be
We don't
part
want
of
to
it.
let the fuck out.
You guys absolutely.
And just so everybody
But
watching
on that
knows,
note, get the
yeah, I will put the link for Bert's Big Adventures will be in the description underneath. So if you'd like to donate, you can do that, or if you'd like to learn more about the charity. So I'll have the links in there, and I will also have Nicole and Anthony's and Meg's socials, so you can follow them if you aren't already.
And Bert's Big Adventure will be at our event. So we'll have reps there and everything from the. Pardon me?
Yeah.
And the families are coming too. Some
Oh yeah,
families-
we've got Bert's Big Adventure families, and I cannot wait because these guys are ultimate Walking Dead fans, and this is kind of like make a wish for them. So they are so stoked
Very
about
cool.
coming.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
cry when
Yeah.
I see this.
Yeah, I know. I have to talk
Good
to
thing you
people.
got the
so
Kleenex.
it'll be
Yeah.
crying. Yeah, right. Good thing Kleenex is there. So everybody is saying
Yes.
thank you guys for tuning in with us tonight, and they appreciate it, and they loved having you here and everything. Just so you know.
Will you tell everybody that thank you so much, and we appreciate all the donations and all the positive messages they've been sending us. So thank y'all so much.
Well, we thank you guys for doing this because, luckily I'm in Georgia and I can be there easily. But I know others, they're going to travel to be at this thing because it's important to us, and it'll just be something, I can't make it to LA, So this will be even better though because it'll be more intimate. It'll just be, So we would appreciate all your hard work very much.
Well, we're looking forward to it. And again, thanks for everything, and we appreciate it. And Chris, hopefully you're still.
It's
in
the works. It's in the works.
All right. Well, let us know what.
Yeah,
let us know what we can do.
It's gonna be a quick turnaround. I'm gonna be there like a whirlwind, and then I'm gonna be back at home.
Dude, I told you I got the margaritas ready for you.
Yes, we're having meeting with Meg for margaritas. I've already got that invite.
You let us know when you come in.
Very
when you
cool.
arrive from the
Appreciate
airport.
it. All right, guys. You have a good
All
night.
right,
We'll see you in a
guys.
couple of weeks.
All right.
Good night.
All right. Bye, guys.
Do you have to readjust all the images?
Probably.
Good night.
Okay. All
See
right,
what
guys. So let's move right on into episode 18, A New Deal.
All right, I forgot we have to
Well,
talk
Meg,
about
you
that.
told me you had lots of notes. Oh boy. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
So, I do. The only I know this episode started off with a bang, or should I say with a stab. What a powerful way to open up an episode. To open an episode with Daryl literally putting a stake, a freaking that Rambo fucking knife that he has, right through Lance's hand. And I gotta say, it's really refreshing to letting all the actors kind of just let it fly. I think what do you call Lance, a shitbag or something like that, or
Yeah.
I mean, it's just they're just
Douchebag?
letting it go. And I'm like, this is how it should have been.
very
This is the
colorful language.
apocalypse. You don't sit there and pussyfoot around things. You know what I mean? Oh God.
And that's what I've heard a lot of people say, even people who hate Daryl, they're
Yes.
like, this is the Daryl we could have had the whole time. Why
Yeah.
are we only getting him now?
I don't think there was a person who didn't want Daryl. Linda said, I wanted Daryl to kill him. I don't think there was a person who didn't want him to kill him.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't want him to because I want to see what else there.
Yeah.
He's just such a snake, and I just want to see what
No,
else is going to
absolutely.
happen.
And I mean, I think we have a really good idea of where this is going. We have Pamela is basically setting him up for whatever revenge Pamela has planned, and I don't know if those of you have watched 19 yet or not. If you had the opportunity to watch 19 because it's on AMC Plus, I'm not a big fan of it. Honestly, I'm really not, because I want to get ahead to the next episode, and then I do it, and then I hate myself almost for doing it.
That's why I don't watch the episode ahead.
I'm like about to cancel my AMC Plus membership.
Well, if you just try to watch it on Amazon Prime, and you won't get it for days and days later.
Renee, if you want, you can use my my AMC Plus subscription.
I have AMC Plus. It's just I was using it through Amazon, and you can't. They AMC blamed it on Amazon, so I don't know, but it's happened before, and so I can log in to AMC Plus. But I try not to watch it too soon because of my writing, and then I get confused and be like, oh wow, am I allowed to say that yet?
Yeah.
So it's kind of better if I watch them a little later.
I texted Chris and I was like, I need answers on some of the stuff. I need some spoilers, and thankfully he came through.
Nice.
Linda's cursing?
Yeah, Linda.
Yeah. So Pi wants you to get
Linda's
back
going
on track,
hard.
Chris. Pi's like, we're talking about 18.
That little play that not play, but that act that's going back between Lance and Pamela, he's really trying to play it cool, but at the same time, like, how are you gonna push your limit right now? You're handcuffed on the ground, you're hogtied basically, your ankles are tied, your hands are, like, if they wanted to, they could have just let the walkers come and eat you right there and then. But do you have the balls to look at Mercer and say, like, go do your job, soldier? Like, bro, you're not in any position to talk shit right now. It was just not, I was like, this guy's way too brazen, and he knows, I guess, in a way, or he says in a way that like Pamela still needs him. But I mean, she just needs him for whatever she wants to use him for. That's, in my opinion. So,
he's a weasel. That's
why. Of course he is. Like you say, he's a snake.
Snake in the grass.
He's a snake. And he still thinks he's a major player in whatever's going on for some strange reason.
But he's not. He's a chump.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that because he, as this episode plays out, he had some kind of plan in place with his henchman or henchwoman. But we'll get to that. Meg, I know you had a ton of talking points. So where were you in all this going on?
First off, you know how you're talking about like this is the Daryl we should have had this whole time. Another thing we should have had the whole time, but I know it's network restrictions. The fact that we got the F-bomb in the first 2 minutes. I mean, think about it. If this was real life, it wouldn't be like, oh no, oh what the hell? Like no, what the.
Yeah.
I forgot if I can curse on here, so I didn't say it. I was like, no, what the fuck? Like, it's about damn time they're cursing. Like you could tell these last few episodes. They're going all in, and I know we kind of talked off the line, like, I love that they're doing all this, but I'm just afraid of what's going to happen for the final episode. Are they going to drop the ball again?
So
it's a big concern.
And that's, I think, kind of like we all shared that kind of thought, is like they're going to give us some really powerful 7 episodes, and then it's just like the last one, is it going to just drop the ball completely? Because there's no way they can give us the ending that we think we deserve.
It's either going to be spectacular or it's going to be a dud, and there is no in between.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's either
they open this episode again with Judith doing the narration, the narrating and everything in the beginning, which once again kind of like pulls on that choral line from the comic books kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where she's seeing it through her eyes, where Carl was telling the story through his eyes kind of thing. So they open the episode like that again. Let's see if it becomes like a common theme through the whole series, though. I'm not sure.
They said it's going to happen for a few episodes at least. But, my thing is, with the finale, it could be the most spectacular episode of all time. People are going to go crazy and say that they hate it. You can't, with the universe as big as this, there's no way to please the majority of the people. Like, look at what happened with Supernatural is a prime example of this. 15 great seasons, final episode, it's shit. So I'm not ready for the backlash of the final episode.
Yeah, I know.
Although I have to say,
and Renee, you got to write about it. So
I know I got to write about it.
After the final episode, the scene on the bridge had me crying. It was emotional.
Okay.
All right.
You're allowed to have emotions.
I can't get you a Kleenex. They're all in Georgia right now.
That's right.
Yeah, right.
We got the stockpile.
You think there was any foreshadowing taking place with Lydia talking to Carol, talking to Daryl? There's romance on the horizon again, which is kind of like, how many dudes are you going to get killed?
She's going to feel like such the worst luck charm if what's his face dies.
Elijah, yes.
Yeah, Elijah, thank you. I'm blanking out on his name. Just because with Henry and now him, it's I was getting a little worried.
And can Carol stop adopting children?
And I've been thinking.
Can Carol stop adopting children?
Carol and kids are not a good combo.
Look, well, before it was murdering them, so I mean, which one do you want?
Consistency. She's just a nice person to them.
But now she adopts them and
we don't
they
need her
just
to be
die.
everybody's mom.
Yeah.
We don't need her to be everybody's serial killer.
Well, we got to find middle ground for her then.
That's what I'm saying. Just bake them some cookies, be their next door neighbor. I don't know.
But I've been thinking Elijah, they've been giving him a lot more screen time. Even in the part 2, they gave him more screen time. I'm like, just like Jerry's getting so much screen time. I'm like, no.
Yeah, there's a lot of moments to this episode, kind of like there was in the first one, where there was some, sentimental things going on. You can tell they're trying to find closure in certain areas. You had the python, Daryl trying to give Judith the python, her saying no. My mom put down her sword, and I don't want that right now. I'm not ready for it. I don't want that life right now.
Bye, Carol Dobson, and they die.
And I mentioned this last week too, and there's kind of talking about that too, about how he thanked Lydia for saving Carol. Things that we have not had closure on. That was never brought up. And just like Carol mentioning Sophia in this episode, it's like they're doing these really beautiful nods to previous characters and kind of helping us some of these stories actually have some closure instead of just like, oh, Lydia saved Carol and no one even whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's touching, I think, to see those moments.
Like you said, you're giving a closure to that storyline. Just a brief little snippet to put it to an end.
Yeah. Everybody's talking about how Judith was such a brat. She's
a teenager.
Know your role. You are a teenager.
Yeah, but they have let her do this. So she has been kind of a little bit of a leader with the kids, you know what I mean? And she's kind of been in that role. And so and she was raised to help people. So she doesn't understand. And plus, how hard would it be? I mean, she only knows the apocalypse. So to see this little glimmer of a whole different society than she's ever lived in, and new clothes and a new haircut, new all, this kind of stuff, that's girly things to want to keep hold of. And so, I mean, yeah, she was pretty bratty, but at the same time, she was taught to take care of people. And that's what she's worried about. If they leave the Commonwealth, who's taking care of these people? So I can see both sides, but
and I mean, they're also going through each character and kind of you're getting a feel on who's probably not gonna leave, who's gonna who's on board, who's not on board. And it's like I even feel like the ones that aren't on board, which would right now would be like Ezekiel, Father Gabriel. He doesn't seem like he's on board with leaving, but he was kind of like, I feel like that whole scene that he had where Rosita was like, I'm on board, but I'm not on board. And then I'm back on board. Yeah, he's just kind of wishy-washy about it.
He feels he has purpose here at this community, and he still, I'm sure, still feels he needs to redeem himself for what he did back at his home church. That has to still weigh on him. It should.
And someone said, do I think Ezekiel will survive? And I don't think any character that's going to decide to stay back lives. Yeah. That's just how I'm kind of seeing it. I mean, you have the main group, they're looking on going and, resettling, with Hilltop and Alexandria. So it's like, I think
Oceanside.
Anyone who chooses to stay and fight or chooses to stay for whatever reason they're staying for against leaving, I don't think they make it to the end. I think this is kind of like why they're doing this divide and conquer kind of thing. I don't know. But
I also think Jerry's going to die defending Ezekiel. At some point, I think he's going to have some scene where he's defending Ezekiel
like
something.
Like a fitting end, Like, he'll help defending my king to the end.
I defended my king to the end.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You.
Did you guys see it? I saw someone had done screenshots of it. So Jerry left, right, to go to Oceanside with everybody. But during all the confusion, Ezekiel was saving Jerry's kids and making sure they were getting out of harm's way from the Founders Day celebration.
Nice quick
so I thought
shot
that
of
was really cool.
too, which we haven't seen. I mean, it was a
blinking you miss it moment.
She was at the it was at the Halloween when they first got to the Commonwealth, the Halloween party. That's the last time I think we've seen her.
Pie's not happy with me.
Why? Where is it? Pookie, does it say?
She's
about
because
Jerry.
He's talking about Jerry.
Yeah. Linda's not happy with Max's character, but so I think Max's character right now is just full anger towards Sebastian. So like I took some notes on this scene because I said it bothers her because she knows that Sebastian has literally gotten away with murder of many, like literally gotten away with murder of many people. And he's had a chance to like redeem himself, and any opportunity he's ever had to try for redemption or to become a better person, or even this leader that his mother thinks he could be, to like do the right thing, he just ruins it. It just plain and outright ruins any chance. He, in this episode, once again, he ruins his opportunity to save basically his self by being a better person. And she also has resentment towards Pamela too, because you go back to earlier episodes where they were talking about having extra money, and Max was like, we could divide it up and give it to some families in the Commonwealth to give them some extra income, extra money.
She like laughed at her, right?
And she like laughed it off. Yeah. So Max has plenty of reason, because she's been on the inside working with the elite politicians, like she sees the dirt. She knows all the dirt. So I give Max all the right in the world to feel the way she does towards Sebastian.
No, I'm with you on that one, 100%.
And I also thought it was fitting for him to die on Founders Day. I just figured, I was like, oh well, you died on the celebration of like the finding of this fucking place. So good for you.
Yeah.
Happy Founders Day.
Yeah, that was a waste of his character though, because he had such an impactful. I mean, if you haven't read the comics, I'm just telling you anyway. But he killed Rick in the comics. I mean, and they didn't do anything with that. So what? If you look at it, what was really the point of even introducing Sebastian? Unless we see something in the next couple episodes, which we could. But it's like, what was the point of this spoiled brat? They could have left him out and it wouldn't have done anything, I mean,
I feel like it's a decoy, honestly.
Yeah, that could very well be, yeah.
Somebody else is going to give another character that moment. Because, I mean, look what happened with the Pikes. Prime example. Everybody thought it was going to be, Rosita and Ezekiel. And they total, turn, and I have a feeling it's something else is going to happen.
Like the other thing that they did bring back was Daryl putting back his angel wing vest there.
That was cool.
Yeah,
that was cool.
That was nice.
Kind of like a let's ride, it's like a let's ride thing. And then Meg, I know you probably picked up on this, but did you see RJ sitting there reading the Invincible comic?
Yes. Yes, I tweeted about that. I was like, oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Not only, between obviously the show and then the nice nod to Carl. What was it, season 6, I think it was? That was a really nice.
I think it was 6.
Yeah, because I remember he was with Enid, but that was, Yeah, well, I'm glad you said that.
Well, that's another Kirkman comic. I mean, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, but
it's the Kirkman universe.
Yeah.
The Kirkverse.
Yeah.
The Kirkverse, yeah. So it's like, but, you got an Invincible comic in right now. How is it printed?
Right.
How'd we print that
It
comic?
may have been printed probably before the world ended.
I guess,
and somebody just
depending
grabbed
on
it.
what year they're in right now, That was a
I think they said 2025.
That was a
I
pretty
think.
well printed, nicely printed comic he was reading. It's not like it got dragged through the mud. But still, it was a nice nod. I thought it was pretty cool.
Like a comic book shop.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, the Commonwealth, everything they have there is mint condition.
True.
Even the mint ice cream is mint condition.
So,
But,
so the guy who played, what did they call him?
my
Captain
God.
Commonwealth.
You
or
couldn't come up
whatever,
with
the
a better
wrestling guy.
name.
He's like a wrestler. And yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But he's a
Oh,
real
those guys
wrestler.
are all real. Yeah, I think
in
all
real
three of them
life.
were.
Like at one time.
Yeah, I just know the one for sure, but
Yeah, I just know the one for sure. But yeah, I thought that was
Captain
really cool.
Commonwealth. I was like, that's what we're going with.
I know. It just shows their propaganda is in everything. Like literally everything they do is propaganda.
Renee froze on us. We can hear you, but you froze on us, Renee.
Oh.
It's a great freeze, though.
Oh,
we like it.
sorry.
You're smiling.
Yeah.
Like usual.
Yeah.
That's a...
well, it's kind of like, I know I couldn't be on last week, but what I was saying, I don't know if you mentioned it with the tape over the
Oh, we met. Yeah, I
the
mentioned
steering
it.
wheel logo. They could. Somebody actually tweeted to me saying that they could have put a Commonwealth logo on it. I don't remember who said it, but I was like, that would have been
Oh, yeah.
great marketing right there for Commonwealth.
Right.
Like you said, they
Chris
labeled
mentioned
everything.
that, yeah.
I showed it to my boss too. I was like, look what happened. I was like, it's Game of Thrones 2.0.
So yeah, we got. Oh, sorry, I got completely sidetracked. But yeah, so like this plan. So Lance is now he's in jail or whatever you want to call it, lockup, lockdown. Um, and like you have Eugene, doing this visit to strike a deal, some to get info on Pamela, and it doesn't go so well. Why the candied apple? I have no idea. There's like some kind of connection with a candied apple. I'm not really sure.
Well, it was also shown at the fair in Hilltop. Not Hilltop. The Kingdom.
Okay.
So people are saying it's very it's very ominous. Because the Enid was holding the candy apple. And then all that chaos happened with Alpha, and she kidnapped everybody and they died on the Pikes. And now there's candy apples here and chaos erupted.
I didn't even think of that. Renee, are you still with us? Okay. Just want to
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, well, it's
We just
freaking
can't see
me
her.
out. I want to make sure she's there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear everything. So
Yeah, no, I had no idea. I didn't even put that together. Do the Eugene face. Oh God. Yeah. Eugene has he's got a boohoo face.
Do it.
No, I don't want to. Come on.
Oh, imagine Eugene's bitching.
He is bitching.
Whining.
He is bitching. He's
Okay,
bitching
do it.
to Lance.
Do it.
Yeah. Well,
It's
yeah,
always
he
bitching
really
and
is.
whining.
Like, if we fast forward real quick to the end of this episode, where he doesn't, and that's the thing, he's not intentionally shoving. It doesn't look like he didn't intentionally shove the walker on to Sebastian, but like even in that moment, he just doesn't. He's just like, he's just, like, dude, like, grow a set of balls. Like who cares? It's Sebastian. You know what I mean? But like even
Fucking
in that
weasel.
moment, he's just like, oh, like he annoys me with his baby bullshit.
Baby bullshit.
His baby bullshit.
We got
Renee, you're back.
We got Captain Commonwealth and baby bullshit.
Yeah, Renee's back. Yay. Okay.
Yay.
So yeah, this whole plan, and I want to know, how does Lance get information out to these two people while he's in jail? You know what I mean? To pull do this plan off. And then not only that,
Yeah.
but so you have his plan, and then you have Max and Eugene's plan,
So many plans.
and these two plans literally end up colliding at the Founders Day event and just causing complete and utter fucking chaos at the end of this episode. I mean, we'll get to that, but I was just like, like how is he able to carry out this stuff? I mean, they do show him look out the window, and that's you have a tiny little grind my gut moment where, they're the way they filmed it out of his jail cell, they look like they're a mile away, and they whistle. They look like they're a mile away, and then he gives them a nod. Like, how the fuck are we reading that? How are we conveying this message?
Was that the signal?
Was that the bat? Like, what did we do just now? So yeah, the Founders Day was such an obvious timing. Everyone's gathered up, so Eugene Lance's minions. Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, of course, that's how it was. Everybody had their plan, but to know that they were doing it at the same time just made it worse for the whole day and the whole event. The way I see it. I know we touched real quick on Gabriel. I mean, what do you guys think? You think he's planning on staying from that scene? I really felt like he was just on the fence.
I don't know. These final episodes, I feel like they're just gonna want us. They're just gonna throw us curveballs left and right. So I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be a touch and go, and then something's gonna happen. Maybe like with Rosita, and that's gonna be an instant decision right then and there, or he decides what he's gonna do.
Yeah, I don't know. It says, I suppose the pie says, I suppose Lance could have waited for Commonwealth's big Xmas fair, but why? For the what? This one, though, the one woman, though, who played, I guess, the setup crew, cleanup crew, whatever Anthony said that it is a possibility that she actually might attend the event. So the walker who bit Tio, which is pretty.
I was tweeting with her that night, actually. She's so sweet.
She was like tweeting with everybody. Yeah, she was so active, and she was a wolf in season 6.
So she's been there before.
Yeah, so that'd be really cool. Yeah, they can reach out and get her on.
Yeah, do we have? Is the 25th? Is that solid? Real quick.
Yeah, yeah. I'm meeting with her tomorrow also. So for Undead.
Okay.
So we can talk about it.
So we can talk about that real quick. Yeah. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Is she's coming back as Clark, right? Is she coming on the show as Clark?
She's coming back to our show.
Yeah, I know, but is she coming back to our show? Is she going to come back as Clark on our show? Is she doing like Clark, or is she?
I'm sure she will. If maybe Ryan needs an interview.
I will fold like a cheap piece of aluminum dollar store foil.
So,
Meg, would you intake interview with Clark from the
somebody
from the
else has to
Commonwealth?
take the hit.
Can we talk after the show about this?
But so Carrie Genzel,
No pressure.
Carrie Genzel will be back with
Carrie
us
Genzel will be
right before the camp on the 25th.
That's awesome.
Like right before.
Yeah, days
we'll
before the
have
camp.
You sent me the date, and I was like,
No pressure.
I was counting days, and I'm like, oh, it's like we did what 2 days later.
Mm-hmm,
well, she was busy. She was busy next week, so we couldn't do it next week. But
yeah. So that's gonna be exciting. I'm a little upset we didn't get any more of her in the Commonwealth storyline.
I still think they should have brought her back
course.
with Negan. I thought that would have been fucking funny. Like him getting to the Commonwealth and her be like, "So how many times a day do you wipe?" And him just be like, and then the next scene could have been him walking around the Commonwealth like,
this whole setup, like when we get to like this whole setup where like they're trying to, with Max and Sebastian and stuff. I mean, this is a very well thought out thing that she has going on. I mean, you could tell this has been planned revenge for a long time. Like just to pour the whiskey, you know what I mean? Here you go. It's a little relaxer. Let's let it out.
Yeah, and then I think though too, she was trying to give him one last opportunity to do good. She's like, you could do good, whatever. And he's like, no, and so I love that I believe it was all planned. Yeah, she knew what she was doing, but she gave him one last opportunity to show that you're not the jerk that we all know you are. And he didn't take it.
He shows his true colors, and that's where like earlier when I went back and I said he through it all, all the actual murders that he's committed, she's still willing to see if there's a bright spot somewhere, and it just didn't pan out. It just didn't show. Sebastian never would have made it a leader anyway. Yeah, I mean,
he had no spine.
No, he's a coward. He would have never made a great leader at all.
No. Well, his mom knew that. She said that you're not, because he's like, well, I'm a Milton and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, but you're not a good one. I mean,
you couldn't make it to Founders Day. You died.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like
kill a walker,
I feel like Sebastian's kind of like the prime example of like a nepotism kid, just riding on the parents' coattails, thinking he's gonna make something of himself when he's just an asshole.
I mean, that I wanted her to get hit while she was in the middle of the ring. I wanted someone to just like peg Pamela with like a jug of milk or some shit. Like shut up and just bang, but.
Oh, and I love when Mercer when she's like, "You're supposed to protect me," and he's like, "Ma'am, I'm supposed to protect the Commonwealth."
Beautiful.
Yes,
that was beautiful. Like that's what she needed to hear.
Yep.
Exactly. And it was good to see because you can tell Mercer's like, he's doing his job, but he's just doing the job, and so you can tell he's just watching everything, he's let Rosita know I got your back kind of thing, but yet he's still doing his job because like he said, did he say this is the best thing that there is out there or something, kind of thing. So yeah, I thought that was so cool.
Yes. I love when Linda gets all amped up. Seb is a shit. But bravo to Tio. He did a perfect job. And he really did. I mean, and then she says she's disappointed by Mercer's character. Sorry, not sorry. But I mean, what's the disappointment about though?
What's your deal with
because
Mercer,
I feel like
Linda?
everybody's pretty I think I know where she's probably wanting more conviction out of him to be on our side probably. Yeah. That's what I would assume. Maybe not.
Yeah. I think he just keeps his cards close to his chest, trying to he's got a plan, he's got
There,
Let me ask you something. With the sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. With the wrestling scene, did anybody else get Woodbury vibes?
A little bit
from that scene.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like with Merle and Daryl.
With the walkers.
So fun trivia.
Yeah.
So fun piece of trivia. In the comics they did football, but when they were filming this, there were still COVID precautions in play that was going to make that very difficult. So that's why they chose wrestling.
Wait a minute.
So,
interesting.
Yeah.
Wait,
Angela King shared that.
So you didn't want to do football where there's...
Well, because you would have that many people to test and make sure. You have 3 guys in the ring, so you just make sure those 3 guys.
You're literally sweating all over.
No, 2 football teams. Yeah. No, those 2 football teams worth of actors. This was test your 3 and they're good to go. And
also, I like that it was more condensed in town square instead of having to be in a big area, especially with all the chaos, because it really confined people and it essentially trapped them in this area.
Yeah, because 6, 7, 8 walkers wouldn't have done much at a football field.
Exactly. This worked out so much better for them.
Couple of cool. Yeah.
So yay COVID.
Couple of cool things I wanted to point out too is Mercer using his new axes. Like a lot, like he, when in the very beginning of the episode, and then once he tells Pamela basically "F you," he pulls them out again, and I mean, he goes just apeshit with those things, slicing walkers in half.
Oh,
there's
Nabila.
There's a quick shot of Nabila in the chaos of everything happening, and then Ezekiel grabbing some of Jerry's kids as well and running them to rescue. But there's a scene that we didn't get to talk about, and that was with Negan and Annie at the doctor's office while she's getting an ultrasound.
Yeah. Yeah, giving Glenn and Maggie vibes.
So
I was like,
remember when I told you guys I had something that
Oh, yeah.
This is kind of like where I was with this scene. After watching that, I'm a very, very strong believer that Annie and the baby are going to die. They're going to get killed. And I think that by that happening, especially after Negan being in that doctor's office, seeing the ultrasound and the baby and everything, I think that they die. And I think it sends Negan into a very down this rabbit hole, back to this very, very dark place over the next whenever episode it happens in. And I honestly think that the only person who's going to be able to relate to him and where he's at is going to be Maggie, because Maggie obviously knows how he feels because he made her feel that way. And I honestly think that's what's going to be the main trend after the series is over that sets them up going off alone together. Because Annie and the baby will be dead. Someone will probably be watching Herschel. And that whole experience of him going through that pain and death of his wife, his loved one with child, and that's going to, she'll be the one who basically saves him from that. I think it'll be a reverse role. That's kind of like my gut instinct of what after seeing that scene. So
Makes sense. I can see
Makes
that.
sense.
Yeah, I mean, Let me know if you guys agree or disagree in the chat. I'm sure I'll have some naysayers.
That makes sense. Yeah.
They died. She doesn't want to stay with the doctors. I don't think she dies because she doesn't want to stay at the Commonwealth with the doctors. I think that they die in some kind of tragic way.
Do you think that she's going to get Lori's comic book death?
So we all know that they're trying to escape, right? We all know that they're trying to assemble their group and get out.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly feel like as that's happening, it's going to be prevented. And I think it is trying to be prevented. It's going to cause more and more death, because more plans are going to come into place, more strategies to get out and do these things are going to happen. Daryl and Rosita obviously know the ins and outs of this place. They know the gates. They know where to go. But at the same time, is the Commonwealth going to be prepared for that? So I don't know. I just feel like she's going down in a tragic way. And
yeah, I agree with that.
And that's what I say.
But also, if we think about
it just
it,
sends Negan down this rabbit hole of anger and revenge, and the only person who's going to be able to save him, I feel like, is going to be Maggie. So.
What are you gonna say, Meg?
No, I was gonna say, if you think about it, Annie's not the, damsel in distress type. It's clear she wants to go out, she wants to fight for what's right. So I feel like that's what's gonna cause her downfall, because she's gonna be like, I got this, even though she's got a human growing inside of her, but something's gonna happen that kind of goes along with exactly what you said.
Yeah, Pi said maybe they can deliver the baby, but the baby's not deliverable. It's not at this stage. No, not at this stage. No.
Not at this stage.
Yeah,
she's barely showing.
And they even
it's only been...
the ultrasound tech there even hinted that the embryonic fluid's at a high level.
Yeah.
And it needs to be kept in check. So who knows.
Really off topic, but I just saw it happen. But I really did love the Daryl with the python, and the way he had his arm outstretched and he shot the walker, and it looked very Rickish.
Yeah.
I would, and that scene too. If you go back and watch that scene where Judith and him are separated, and there's all the commotion, right? And Judith is looking through the crowd, and you see bodies all over the place. How is the walker focused right on her with people running
by?
Right by him, and then she's laser locked, she's never seen one before. She's like, oh my god, it's coming at me. This thing is laser locked on her, she's the only fucking person around him. In the meantime, there's people everywhere, and then boom, I'm just come on.
Is it a variant walker, and it's fixated on her for some reason?
Does that grind your guts?
It does.
Does that grind your guts?
It grinded. Like I said, there wasn't much that really got me in this episode, but that was something that got me. That was something that.
Only one thing got me this episode.
What was that?
Because we see Rosita and Gabe catch Judith trying to sneak out, and then all of a sudden we see Daryl coming in and finding her. I wanted to see Gabe and Rosita telling Daryl, and I see Renee nodding at me. So yeah, I just wanted to see them being tattletale basically.
Yeah.
Hey, we found your kid, And also I love Daryl. This doesn't grab my gears, but I just love seeing Daryl in dad mode.
Yeah.
It warmed my heart.
Because it's
I made a graphic of Daryl with Judith through the ages and said Daryl's a better dad than he thinks he is.
I haven't seen that.
I posted on Undead, yeah. It would have been good luck filtering through because it was during live tweeting, so I get a little overzealous.
Just text me.
Yeah, I'll text you. So okay, I want to talk. So I thought Chris was going to talk about this, but he didn't. So now I'm going to bring it up. So. Lance and he's talking about these alliances. Who are they alliancing with? There's the CRM, the Civic CR. They are the logical one because they're the biggest that we know of, and I doubt they're going to introduce another group. At this stage, it would be stupid to introduce another group at this stage unless I have no idea. But so, I started looking back through things, those weapons that he had. He tried to say, oh, they were from the they were from the Commonwealth. I took them as resources, the ones that Leah ended up stealing that he blamed on Riverside. But where did those guns come from? Because if he took that many guns from the Commonwealth, that would have came up in a, like, what's happening kind of thing. So were those a payoff for the people? Because there are other, there's a huge list of people missing. So is he pulling a Jadis and doing this for some, which we kind of touched on, I think, at one point maybe earlier in the season. So, what's going on there? And are these two thugs of his involved in all this too? Because they, they kind of do their own thing. They feel, I almost feel like they're not even policed by the Commonwealth. They kind of just do whatever they want. I mean, obviously on Lance's orders. So I'm just really intrigued to see, is it going to be a Civic Republic kind of thing, or is this something else, or whatever? But it's just getting very interesting, especially when he told Pamela that you do need me because of these alliances, and when he was talking to Toby Carlson, he said, these guns are for that other thing, and that's the last we've heard of that. So, could be just the dead end there too, but I feel like it's going to come back around.
I mean, could it be bluffing? Probably not, because we know that there's other things out there, other communities, other opportunities as far as colonies go. So, I mean, bluff, probably not, but maybe he's just trying to keep himself alive.
At that point, he's just talking out of his ass just to keep himself alive. Who knows?
Right. But more to the example is there is probably a tie to the CRM, like you're referring to. And that seems to be like, even Linda says Lance is working with the CRM. There's a link. Pi says Commonwealth must have a lot of colonies and groups all over the place. I mean, we did see them trading with the one guy who was apparently, beating all the women and all that stuff and everything.
Yeah, but he was
within, but they were like a separate pool of people somewhere.
Yeah,
doing,
like
whatever they were doing. Was it Poppy? I don't even know what they were doing.
Were they growing poppies
so.
or whatever? Yeah. But I think that was inside. But I mean, the community's very large. I don't think they have, because someone says they have colonies, but I don't think they do. I think they have their 50,000 people in that giant map we showed last week. I don't know that they, I guess, I don't think they have extra places that
Yeah. So Pi says, well, he was sitting on an anthill. That makes people talkative. Yeah.
That was funny. But I don't think he's bluffing, because he has been with, he has been with Pamela for a long time as her lackey and everything else. That's why he is the way he is. He's always looked, his dad was the Milton chauffeur, and he watched this family, and he, he's obsessed with them, and obsessed with the power that they've always had. And so he's just trying to get his piece, and so I don't think he's bluffing. I think he has something in the works, whether it is the Civic Republic or something else. But
yeah, and so I mean, the episode ends with Judith putting the mercy shot in Sebastian's head, which I felt was actually kind of fitting from where she was previously in the show to now to the end.
I don't think she did she? I thought she killed the walker.
Oh, no, she shot him too, didn't she? Didn't she give him the mercy shot?
I didn't think so.
Maybe she just shot the walker?
I don't know. I guess I didn't think so, but I don't know.
Oh, no.
I thought it was just
I guess
Walker.
so. She just shot the walker then, because I thought because he would turn, she shot him in the head. But you're right, she just shot the walker.
And maybe I could have missed that. I don't know.
No, I just rewatched it. So she did shoot the walker, and I thought she shot both.
Okay.
So you shoot the walker, but you don't give him the mercy shot to the head. Huh.
Because at that point, it looks like he bled out.
Well, yeah.
Completely. So he's dead.
Well, he's dead, but he's not dead.
Yeah. But is he all the way dead?
He's dead, but he ain't dead.
Unless the assumption is that Judith put one in him after that point.
Well, that's right.
Black.
That's what I literally had thought. But so at the end of the episode, if you guys watch the cut scenes for next week, there's Pamela standing over, looks like in a morgue, and I'm pretty sure it's Sebastian. And
this isn't a spoiler. This is next week.
Yeah, this is all from this is all cut from after the episode. So you have that, as far as like something that's coming up. She says I need an example.
People are being herded like cattle.
Yeah. And then we do show Rosita and a few other people. Looks like Ezekiel and someone else with a bunch of the troopers, soldiers.
Yeah, because Pamela's saying that they have to, that someone has to pay.
So it looks like our group is.
She's saying that over top of that when they're walking. Yeah.
So it looks like our group is being herded up.
Well, doesn't Mercer say to Princess that they're coming after Eugene?
I think so. Yeah, I didn't get to that part yet.
I think Mercer tells Princess that they want Eugene for Sebastian's murder since he threw Walker. But
they do show a herd of walkers, and then they have Aaron narrating, saying that like I've heard stories about these types of walkers.
You see like a walker,
and that was in the trailer.
Yeah, because next week's episode is called Variant. So that obviously hints to the fact that there's going to be, I'm going to say it hints to the fact that there's going to be Walker variants in this next coming episode. Especially with Aaron saying things like, I've heard stories about these walkers. Well, how have you heard stories about them, but you failed to mention it up until now?
Yeah, you're just
because he says, I don't know if he says it in that clip, but in the other clip, he said, I just thought they were stories until now.
Yeah. Because he says, I've heard stories about these walkers.
Jerry sees a walker try to open a door. He slams the door.
Yeah, they show that like a door handle shaking.
Yeah.
And then
when the door actually pushes open.
Yeah.
And he has to slam it shut again.
Oh, does it show that?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he does slam the door shut. Yep. And then we have Pamela walking in with Lance in another room, still handcuffed. So who knows what's going on there? And then we have Mercer, and like you said, with Princess.
Yep.
And it looked like he picked up a Whisperer mask off the ground. Aaron.
Somebody does, yeah. Or it looks like it's a fresh one too.
Yeah.
So it begs the question: who's making fresh Whisperer masks?
Yeah, exactly.
Or are the variants Whisperers?
No, because that looked like a cut. I mean, it looked like that because it's still bloody.
It looked like it was skinned, like fresh.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I don't know who, unless because Negan still has his, and we've been watching him use that. But I don't know. But yeah, so it'll be interesting.
It will be interesting. It will. It will. Yeah. So I mean, like. Overall, what did you guys give the episode? I mean, I felt like it was a solid, like 8 out of 10.
I think about an 8, yeah.
From the parts I saw, about an 8 out of
10. Ryan has to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, I will watch it, and I'm going to watch 19 just so I don't forget to do it. And then if I have to watch a recap next week, I will. But I don't, like I said, I like to watch it like the day of, so that way I know what the fuck I'm talking about, you know?
Yeah. Meg, have you watched the next one?
I have not.
Okay.
I try not to, just because then I like live tweeting it, and I feel like, as you know, I am a blabbermouth. I talk a lot, and I know I would most likely slip up, and I don't want to do that to anyone. I don't want to be that person.
See, I watch it ahead because of my writing and things, so I can pre-write, because that way, as soon as the episode ends, man, I am pushing articles, publish. But I try to do my tweets organic. I'm like, I start compiling them as I'm watching it the first time, so that I feel like they're more.
No, that's a good idea.
Instead of just like, lying on live tweeting night.
I gotta say though, with this episode, I definitely like 8.5, and this is just my personal opinion. Walking Dead shines brightest in its most chaotic moments. Look at like season 1 when the first walker attacked the camp. How chaotic that was. The season 2 finale when they attacked the farm. The Woodbury shootout when they attacked the prison. Walkers invading Alexandria. The list just goes on. And those, to me, are the moments that really stick out the most, besides the iconic character deaths. So this one, I think, is probably one of my maybe my favorite episode of the season so far.
Yeah. I mean, and not only that, but like we actually had a character death.
Yeah, which we haven't had since Alden, and then that was like they didn't even show what happened to the poor guy.
Yeah.
You know,
That was
Right.
just
Did you read that, Meg? Did you read the story of his death?
I read a little bit, but I didn't really read the whole thing.
There was like a whole thing, and it would I don't know why we didn't get to see that. It would have been amazing. It would have made, instead of just finding his body, it would have made it more, emotional, because I know everybody's like, well, he was not even a big deal character and blah blah blah, but then you find out he had this. I did too. I liked him. I thought he was good, but he just didn't have a lot of story. But at the same time, he'd been on for a long time, and they just like, he's dead. That's it.
Just deal with it.
Yeah, but this is what happens this is one of the big problems when you have a cast as big as this.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm just so glad they're not doing episodes now where it's focused on just like one or two people and then we see nothing. Because like with Fear, I forget what happens half the time.
I know.
So I'm really glad that they're back to doing huge cast
Sequencing.
shoots.
Like they're doing,
Yes.
they went back to actually really good sequencing that keeps the
Yes.
story moving. It gets everybody involved, and you don't forget anything that's happening.
Yeah.
No.
There's sequencing to the events, and it's why it couldn't always be like this, I don't know.
And also, thank you AMC for bringing back the gore.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been lost since 701.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to see it back.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my one last note, does anybody watch Parks and Rec?
I love Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
So when Sebastian was dying, my first thought was bye bye little Sebastian. And I just started singing it.
Sebastian.
Very
I'm
nice.
just imagining Chris Pratt on the guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to make that video or a little clip, Meg. People would love it.
I will work on that.
Yeah.
Not like I have anything else to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we
That's
can
phenomenal.
play it for them.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, I will make it happen.
Or you can create it and then just tag everybody in it and put it on, wherever, and then he'll be tagged in it, and we'll just all sit there and be like, "We'll miss you
In memoriam.
in memoriam."
In memoriam.
That'll be, yeah.
I
Yeah.
got you covered.
Linda
I got
said
this.
she was pretty grossed out. I think it says his death. Yeah, it was awful to watch. It was, but Meg, you said like it's another thing that they're back at is being gory, true gore. The blood coming out of the mouth, the tear from the
bite
neck.
on the neck was. I loved
Yeah.
it. Loved it.
So like,
That was so cool.
Yeah. Teo talked about it on Talking Dead. He kind of went into detail how Nicotero set that up and stuff. So that was interesting.
And yeah, how we had like the push bottle or the push
Yeah.
pump. Oh,
Yep.
that reminded me of Friday the 13th with Kevin Bacon's death and how they were just pumping the blood up from under
Yes.
the bed. That was a great death.
Looked like the walker was chewing on some beef jerky.
Yeah, something. Usually, don't they say it's usually like pork and like
Time.
syrup and like all this shit that like you
Yeah.
just don't want in your mouth all at one time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just not look good. When Sebastian was bleeding out of the mouth, I'm just picturing like how
Yeah.
nasty that must taste.
Oh, I thought the same thing. I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
It's definitely
Not
not cherry
fun.
flavored, that's for sure.
Mm.
No.
All great
I
questions.
say give me
we get to
strawberry
ask.
flavored, I'll be golden.
Right.
Yeah.
We get to ask him at the camp.
As far as that goes, did anybody get to catch the panel at New York Comic Con?
No.
Yeah.
I watched some of it, yeah, but it was mostly
No.
there wasn't really anything new besides saying that
Yep.
Dead City will come out in April, and I think Rick and Michonne are going to start filming early 2023.
Yeah.
But I mean, mostly it was them talking about memories. They each brought a photo, and they kind of like something that just gave them a good memory of being on the show. But a lot of them were like the, like back behind the scenes, or like them doing things or different stuff like that. So it was, there's a lot of memories and things like that. So nothing breaking
Meg, you didn't
news
get to
really
go to
or
the panel,
anything.
right? Because I know you're at Comic Con, but
No, I had, because you had to like do it with you were in a queue, and then reservations popped up. So when you got into the queue, I clicked on The Walking Dead, and as I clicked next, it suddenly filled up. Jessica, who she cosplays Maggie,
Yes.
Carl, and I think someone else, she got in. She was like front row, and my friend Tiffany went, and she was able to get in, but
yeah.
I didn't even
I thought-
try.
I watched
I knew
it.
I
It was,
wasn't
it
gonna
was,
get
you
in.
know, it was good. It was sentimental. It was, like you said, they shared memories. A ton of thank yous to the fans. I mean, they took fan questions. Um, it's Michael James Shaw called himself like a baby.
Yeah.
He's like I'm a baby to the
Yeah.
show or something like that. He's like compared to everybody else. He's like I'm just a baby. But I mean, it was good. It was a nice, I think, a nice final panel to see done for the show. They handled it really well. Took a lot of time for everybody. They actually went over their time just to make sure that people got their, whatever questions they might have had, or to let the actors say their thank yous. I thought it was done really well.
That's
Very,
cool.
very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
This was it. This was the final
That's it.
Walking Dead
Yeah.
panel.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to think about that after all these years.
And I keep seeing the number,
I know I keep seeing the number, for the episodes. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're almost there. It's just not real.
Well,
Thank God Kleenex is a
Yeah.
sponsor.
I know. I mean, I'm happy we have some things to hold on to as far as it goes, but we're getting there.
Or
On
probably,
that
I don't
note-
think anybody wanted to help. I think people wanted him to get killed.
Yeah, if you look at the crowd reaction in that scene again, nobody was looking to help him.
They're just shaking
Yeah.
their heads. They're like, no way,
would you
man.
help
We're
a
not
little
helping
shit
him.
like that? I
Oh,
wouldn't.
speaking of the crowd,
When he was wrestling with the walker on top of him
No.
and screaming and whatever, they panned real quick, you got to see like this blur
crowd, yeah.
of crowd, and everyone was just kind of like,
Yeah, watching, yeah.
you're good. Handle your business.
What were you gonna say, Meg?
speaking of the crowd was the MVP of this episode
Yeah.
with their
Oh,
eye
yeah.
rolls and their glances. Like I was just like, I felt like I was watching the crowd more than I was watching the actors because I was just
Yeah.
waiting for somebody to do something.
Yeah,
It
when
was
she gets in there,
really
she's like, "Oh,
entertaining.
my son Sebastian wants to say a few words," and they like, some of the people were like, "Oh," and then the other people were like, you see him
Like,
just like, "Oh, give me a fucking break!" Like,
Whatever, yeah.
yeah, you're right. They did. The background actors did do a great job.
Yeah.
So, job well done by all. So I will say that obviously we'll be back next week to talk about 19. I can't wait to talk about 19. It's hard for me to be vague about it because it's a very, very good episode.
Can't wait to watch it tonight.
It is very good. You'll want to watch it more than
I
once.
thought you said you didn't like it.
Huh?
I thought you said you didn't like it.
No, I love 19.
Oh, I thought earlier you said you didn't. Okay,
No.
I misunderstood.
They
He's
told
not
me
gonna
not to
spoil-
talk about 19 yet, and I was like, no, yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
talking about 19. He's just saying
Yeah.
watch it.
I'm just saying, watch it. Jesus, watch it right now if you can. It's good. And we'll be back to dissect it and talk about it.
Yeah.
And other than that, we're good. Anybody else got anything else?
Yep.
House of Dragons
watch-
has been amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
House of Dragons has been
Halloween
amazing.
Ends is on Friday.
What is it?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Halloween.
Halloween,
Oh,
the
yeah.
new Halloween.
I saw one of my friends. Him and his sister are obsessed with Halloween. Like they love that. They love the movie series. And my friend's sister was like, Jamie Lee Curtis has one more chance to try to kill him. Otherwise, I'm gonna try.
Night, Linda. Thank you as
Yeah,
always.
I got my Halloween 3 shirt on.
Yes.
That's
Renee,
awesome.
can I just say I'm loving your 31 horror shirts. They are so entertaining to see every day.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch more coming.
Oh, I can't wait.
Some of them are just real simple, but other ones are better than others or whatever. But this is one of my favorite. I just got this one this year because they don't have Halloween 3 merch
They
because
don't.
Michael Myers is not in Halloween 3, but it's
Yeah.
but it's such a great slasher movie. It's so
It's a
good.
great movie.
Actually, I know a guy that makes a really cool Halloween 3 hat.
Oh wow.
I will look him up. I will look it up and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that would be cool. But yeah, so yeah. Oh.
Good night, Lindy. Thanks for joining as always. We know it's late.
Yes, thank you guys, all of you.
Tiffy, man, so happy you're able to
Yeah.
chill with us this
yeah.
whole time. You should chat more with us though. We need more Tiffy in the chat.
We do.
She did a little bit. Probably has to check on the kids.
Probably.
And Pie, thank you for your telling us not to spoil it.
Yes, I wasn't gonna spoil anything. I wasn't. I
Pie,
never.
Pie keeps us in check, though.
I never spoil.
You know?
Unless she's like, Chris, wink if someone dies, and then I have to be like, don't wink. Don't do it.
No, that was me texting you about that.
Wait, what happened?
That was me texting you if somebody died.
Oh yeah.
This
No, I know,
morning.
but no. Pyle sometimes, like in the chat, she'll be like, Chris, blink with your right eye if so and so dies.
Yes.
And I have to sit here and be like, don't blink with your right eye.
Oh, Renee, I don't know if you like snapbacks at all, but oh wait, my phone's blurry. I'll just text you.
Yeah.
Okay.
She got the privacy
My
screen on.
bad.
It happens to me all the time. All right, everybody. You guys have a great night, and we will be back next week. Enjoy 19 whenever you get to watch it, and
Yes.
we will talk to you guys soon.
Have a good night,
All right.
everybody.
Other than that, peace out. Meg, stick around.
Bye. Oh, of course.
Hey, Renee, Chris, and Ryan going live. Best podcast, Beauty and the Beast. Sit back and catch a vibe. Oh yeah, we talking zombies and apocalypses and all those things you like. Going beast mode, and if you didn't know, it's Peter Z up on the mic. Whoa. Hey, TWD family, grab the snacks about the pantry. Subscribe and like if you can, please. Or those walkers eat you like some candy. Hey, okay. You at the right place at the right time. No one does it better, that's the bottom line. Beauty and the Beast, this is prime time. Let's go.